Hey, friends. What you are about to listen to is a clip from a follow-up episode that I put out for patrons today. The whole thing is available right now if you sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/thenuggetclimbing. There's a link right there in your podcast app. This is a follow-up conversation with Allison Vest, who is so strong and so much fun. Allison has been on a rampage and recently climbed her first two 514s, both in Lander and the Wild Iris, Throwin the Houlian, which we talked about extensively in this conversation, and Rodeo Free Europe, two notoriously hard and powerful and badass 14As. The whole uncut conversation is about 53 minutes. We talked a lot about Throwin the Houlian, why that rock climb inspired Allison and what made her want to try it in the first place, and how she trained for it, specifically how she trained monos to get her fingers ready for those nasty pockets on the Houlian. So we talked about that extensively. When she did that climb, she was also on a climbing trip with Alex Johnson, who's been on the podcast, one of our favorite guests. And right before I recorded this follow-up with Allison, I reached out to AJ and asked her if she had any funny stories or questions about the trip. And she got back to me right before we recorded, and it was hilarious. So many funny text messages from AJ, and then Allison's story about the trip could not have been more entertaining. So in this free teaser, I share about 10 minutes of me reading some of those text messages from AJ and Allison's response. And then you'll get to hear Allison recite the entire periodic table of elements in less than 45 seconds, which I didn't know could be done. Blew my mind. It was amazing. So please enjoy. And if you want to listen to the full episode, you can go sign up for Patreon right now. The full episode is live along with 24 other follow-ups with other guests from the podcast. Please enjoy this free teaser of my follow-up conversation with Allison Vest. So she writes, the day was honestly a total shit show and we looked like total ditzo noobs, and then she sent. It was ridiculous. Had to be taught how to use my own stick clip. Couldn't clip the first draw for the life of us. Took like 8 tries. Tripping over our own feet. These are all different messages. I think I had to teach her how to use a Virgo because she forgot her gree-gree. Now she's obsessed, and I gave it to her because it's the best belay device ever. It was one of the most fun road trip climbing trips of my life.
It was so fun. It's the best. I love climbing with AJ. I think with the two of us have a good balance of like psych and also pessimism. Like when things aren't going very well, we're just like, this is the worst. I hate rock climbing. It's just, it's so annoying. But then it's like also fun at the same time. So I think that sort of aspect for both of us is really great. But it was honestly, it was a gong show at Wild Iris. Like we are, AJ and I are both boulderers. Like we are boulderers at heart. That is what we know. It is where we are comfortable. And it was just the two of us. Like there was nobody, there was no sport climber there to advise us. And keep in mind, AJ is at the Climbers Fest with Trango. Like it's her sponsor, Trango.
Yeah.
That she's there with. So if we roll up to the crag where Houlian is, and I think the people that were there instantly recognized Alex, I think. And they were like, oh my God. And then we instantly were like, oh no, like they know, like they people are going to be watching us. And we were like thinking maybe we should leave. Like it was one of the busiest days I've ever seen there.
Totally. This is during the Climbers Festival.
Yeah. And Alex pulls out her stick clip and doesn't know how to use it. Like she can't, it's a Trango stick clip. She's there with Trango, doesn't know how to use it, is like trying to figure out can barely do it. It keeps like falling out of the draw. Can't clip, can't figure it out. Finally gets the thing in, everybody's like cheering because she stick clipped. And we're like, oh no. And this girl, like it was like kind of an awkward vibe when we first got there. This girl was trying the 13A on the other side of that crag called Young Girl. Which is also an amazing route put up by Amy Skinner. And she like swore while she was trying it because she fell. And then she came down and she was like, I'm really sorry for swearing, everybody, like to the whole And I'm
The whole
like
community.
I'm on the route, and Alex just goes, "Don't be such a bitch," like, while I'm climbing. And when I was like in the mono, I was like, "Oh, I don't think I can do it this way. I don't think I can do it." And Alex just told me not to be a bitch, and then I think I did it next go. Anyway, so we're just total shit show. On the send go of Houlihan, Alex tripped over a rock.
Oh my God.
And shorted me at the second draw. Like I was couldn't clip because she was like falling. And I can't remember. She went to go try it at some point. And the only belay device we had was a Trango Virgo, which I had never used before. So she was teaching me how to use this Virgo, but it looked like she was just teaching me how to belay. It's like so there's like 30 people at the crag, and Alex and I roll up, and they're like, "Oh shit, Alex Johnson's here." And then I don't know how to, and then she's teaching me to belay at like under Houlihan. So we just look like absolute idiots. Like we could not figure out how to do anything. This one girl came up to Alex and was like, "Do you want me to show you how to use that stick clip?" And she was like, "Yeah, actually that'd be really great." So somebody just like taught Alex how to use it. And then I was done at one point, and somebody else was going to try it, and she pulled the rope between the first and second draw so that it was already stick clipped, and she was so proud of herself. Pulled the rope, and she was like, "I already stick clipped it for you." And he goes, "Oh, well, I mean, I was going to use my rope that I'm already tied into, not yours." She's just mortified. But I mean, it was just, we had no idea what we were doing. For the most part, it was just a complete gong show. And then that gong show day was not the day I sent. I think we came back the next day when I did it. And this guy who was there working on it too ended up messaging me and saying, "Oh, we should have like a squad sesh on that route again or something." And I was like, "Oh, I actually did it." And he was like, "Really?" Like, I think he was just could not believe it that I.
Yeah.
He was like, "You did? You did? Okay." So,
are we talking about the same route here?
I was like, Houlihan?
Oh, that is gold. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, it just was the most fun. I think it was one of the most fun climbing trips I've ever been on. She is a blast. And we bouldered that trip too. We had no idea where anything was. We were kind of just walking around, we'd be like, "This looks fun. I don't know." And plopping our pads down, and it was way too hot to be bouldering, so we weren't sending anything. And just complaining the whole time. Yeah, it was great. I love climbing with AJ. She's so fun, and she just believes in you so much that you feel like you have to do things.
That's awesome.
She's like, no, you can do that. You can send this route. Yeah, I think you're fine. And
that's such a great quality in a belayer. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Do you respond well to that when she's like, "Don't be such a bitch," and you're like, "Oh, I gotta try this move harder right now"? Is that a good?
Yeah,
maybe coming from her.
Yeah, I mean, especially on a move like that. I mean, first, if your fingers are strong, for the most part, the reason why you're not doing it is because you don't want to. Okay. It's like I said,
painful.
A lot of it is like it hurts, and mentally holding on with one finger is scary. Mm-hmm. I don't know, on that post you read right at the beginning of this, one of those videos is what we now call the mono shake.
The mono shake?
I do the cross move, and when I'm unwinding, my like whole hand is vibrating on it looks super sketchy. I'll
have to watch that again.
So AJ was like flipping people off all weekend and shaking her hand at them. Mono shake.
Okay, so her text thread goes on. I'm going to read more of it. She writes, "She's a really good rapper and singer and can hear a song once and immediately know the lyrics." That's a question mark there. "And be able to like rap along. Big Nicki Minaj fan. She's going to kill men." Oh, that's a typo. Me. She's going to kill me.
Like, okay.
Because I'm spilling all her rapping secrets. The Virgo is amazing. She's all over the place. This is great. But
she is all over the place.
Yeah, so rapping. Tell me, what's up with that?
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know if rapping is specifically what I would say. My lyric recall is really good.
I want to ask you about that because mine's terrible. Do you have any
Yeah, no, mine is really, really
any
good.
advice for me? Like, I'm a musician. I did this for a long time. I could never remember lyrics. Like, if I hear a song, I could have heard a song. There are songs that I have heard literally hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't actively make an effort to memorize the lyrics by reading them as I'm listening and like trying to memorize them, it just doesn't happen. I don't know what's going on. I can remember root names and beta from like 10 years ago, but I can't remember lyrics.
I think part of it is just like rhyming has always made sense to me. So sometimes I just can like guess what word rhymes with a line, and then I remember. I don't know. I've always been good at it. Like, my memory for lyrics in particular is really good. This is revealing my greatest party trick, but in I think probably 10th grade, when we first started learning about chemistry, I had a teacher who played. There's this famous chemist whose name is Tom Lehrer, and he wrote a song that was all of the main elements on the periodic table in song form. And this teacher played it for the class to sort of introduce the topic of chemistry. And he just went, I bet none of you can do this, and like played the song. And it was just this guy listing off all the elements. And I'm super competitive and don't like when people tell me I can't do something. So I learned the whole thing, like to recite the whole periodic table in song form. And I can still do it. I haven't forgotten it. So as soon as I like learn it, it's usually somewhere in there. So that's my party trick.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is really putting you on the spot, and we can edit this out if you're not up for it. Would you be willing to do it right now?
I can.
Okay. Do you need
I don't know
music?
I don't think I've done this publicly before, but I will give it a go. And if I mess it up, then you have to edit it out.
Okay. Deal. This is for patrons, so it's exclusive.
Antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, osmium, and astatine, and radium, and golden, practinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium. There is yttrium, ytterbium, neodymium, and barium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, and strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, bismuth, lithium, beryllium, and barium. There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and magnesium, mercury, molybdenum, magnesium, dysprosium and scandium and cerium and cesium and lead, palladium, platinum, plutonium, promethium, palladium, potassium, polonium and tantalum, lutetium, titanium, tellurium and cadmium and calcium and chromium and curium. There's sulfur, californium and permium, berkelium and also mendelevium and stynium, nobelium and argon, krypton, neon, radon, xenon, zinc, and rhodium and chlorine, carbon, cobalt, copper, tungsten, tin, and sodium. And that is it. That is all the elements on the periodic table that are on the top part, not the fancy bottom ones.
I didn't expect it to be so fast. That was amazing. I can't even breathe, and I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, it's at speed for sure.
Oh, that might be the best thing that's ever happened on the podcast.
It's
Thank
all
you.
because of Alex. She's calling me out on my lyrical abilities. That's definitely the most poignant representation of that skill of mine, for sure.
You were 10 years old?
No, 10th grade.
10th grade.
10 years
10th
old
grade.
would make sense because I would be 10 and have nothing better to do, but I was like 15 and
And competitive. Oh, that's amazing.
I think I put it on my iPod.
Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you want to listen to the full episode and more importantly, support the regular podcast, head over to patreon.com/thenuggetclimbing. Again, there's a link right there in your podcast app. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google, etc., there's a link right there. If you scroll down, that'll take you over to Patreon. It is $5 per month to sign up, and that will get you access to every follow-up that I've ever done with past guests from the show. And there is a lot of really fun content, really good training content, and many more nuggets in those follow-ups. And again, it is the best way to support the Nugget Climbing Podcast. If you love the podcast and want to help out, this is the best way to do it. Every dollar truly helps, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're having an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.
Move with the good. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.